Welcome to Sleepy Science. Tonight we're going far back, all the way to the age of dinosaurs. Not the loud, roaring dinosaurs people imagine, but the calm ones, the gentle giants, the quiet world they lived in. A world where huge creatures moved slowly through soft forests, where warm air shimmered above ancient lakes, where the nights were peaceful, and the earth breathed in long, deep rhythms. These relaxing dinosaur facts will help your mind slow down, help your body loosen, and guide you toward deep sleep. Let the weight of their footsteps calm you. Let the mystery of their lives keep you curious, and let their quiet world carry you into rest. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any sleepy science nights. When we think of dinosaurs, we often picture huge bodies, loud roars, and shaking ground. But their beginning was nothing like that. It was quiet, soft, almost shy. The first dinosaurs were small, light, and fast, living in a world that didn't even notice them at first. So as you get comfortable, let your mind step into that world, a calmer world, a slower world. A world at the very start of something big, even though no one living in that time knew it yet. Imagine Earth millions of years ago. The air was warm. The light was softer. The ground was covered with ferns and tall, thin trees that swayed with every gentle wind. The nights were long and peaceful. There were no giant shapes walking around, no thunderous steps, only tiny creatures staying close to the ground, moving quietly, living simple lives. And somewhere in that quiet place the first dinosaurs began. They were not huge, not scary, not powerful. They were small like dogs, some even smaller. Their bodies were thin. Their legs were long. And they moved with soft, careful steps. If you were there, you could hear the leaves rustle under their feet, but only if you were paying close attention. They lived side by side with other small animals, early reptiles, little mammals hiding under roots, insects humming low in the warm air. Nothing rushed. Everything moved slowly, as if the whole world was taking long, slow breaths. The first dinosaurs were gentle creatures. They did not rule the land. They did not fight for control. They simply found small places to survive. They ate small plants. They nibbled on leaves. Some hunted tiny insects. They spent their days exploring the forest floor, slipping through shadows, staying hidden from bigger animals that lived at that time. They were careful, but they were also curious, and that curiosity helped them grow and change over time. If you could stand in that ancient forest, you would feel how peaceful the world was. The air was thicker, warm on your skin. The smell of wet plants filled the air. The ground was soft under your feet, covered in layers of fallen leaves. Somewhere nearby, a small dinosaur might lift its head, watching you with quiet eyes, not scared, just aware. Its tail moving slowly behind it, its chest rising and falling as it breathed. You might hear the far-off call of an early reptile, or the soft chirp of insects that filled the night with gentle noise. Nothing loud, nothing sharp, just small sounds that blended together like a calming rhythm, a natural background that made everything feel steady and slow. And in that calm place, dinosaurs began their long journey on Earth. What makes their beginning so relaxing is how simple it was. No rush, no sudden explosions of life, just tiny steps forward, slow changes, creatures learning to survive in new ways. There is something peaceful about knowing that even the greatest animals in history started small, quiet, almost unnoticed. Even giants have quiet beginnings, and that idea alone makes the mind settle. The early dinosaurs lived in a world full of waiting. Long periods of calm followed by gentle changes in weather. A little more rain one year, a little more warmth the next. Plants grew taller, forests became thicker, new places opened for small creatures to live. and the first dinosaurs moved into these spaces. Slowly, carefully, step by step, and every year they grew just a little more common, a little more confident, but still quiet, still part of the calm earth around them. Some early dinosaurs walked on two legs. Their steps were light and quick, almost silent. Others walked on four legs, their bodies close to the ground, moving with a gentle sway. None of them were heavy enough to shake the earth. None of them roared loud enough to echo. Their voices were soft, maybe chirps, maybe small calls to each other in the night, sounds that blended with the forest instead of breaking it. And this is where the story gets almost magical. These small creatures, moving quietly through the shadows, had no idea what they would become. They didn't know they would one day grow into giants bigger than buildings. They didn't know they would become rulers of the land. They didn't know they would become the most famous animals in Earth's history. Right now, in this early moment, they were just tiny shapes looking for food in the soft light, living simple lives. And somehow, that makes them feel more real, more peaceful, and easier to picture as you rest. If you look closely at their world, you can almost feel the texture of the leaves under their feet, the way the branches moved when they brushed past them, the soft light that filtered through the trees, the gentle warmth of the sun that touched their backs, the cool shade they stepped into when the day grew too warm. Their world had a rhythm, a slow, calm rhythm that wrapped around every living thing, a rhythm that could lull you to sleep if you listened long enough. These tiny dinosaurs survived by staying calm. They watched. They waited. They moved when the moment felt safe. They rested under trees when larger animals walked by. They learned which plants tasted good, which paths were safest, which shadows hid danger and which held nothing but quiet space. Their whole life was a balance of simple choices, slow movements, gentle awareness, and as the years passed, these small animals slowly shaped the future, one small change at a time, one new idea, one new habit. That is how life grows, quietly, patiently. And that is how dinosaurs began their story. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with soft footsteps in warm forests, with quiet breaths in still air, with a world that opened slowly, inviting them to take their first steps. There is something comforting in knowing that greatness often begins in silence, something calming in picturing these gentle creatures, living peaceful lives long before the giants arrived. And as you rest, their small steps can help your thoughts slow down too. Let the image of quiet forests guide you. Let the idea of gentle beginnings settle in your mind. And let the calm world of the first dinosaurs help you breathe a little softer. The Earth during the age of dinosaurs was nothing like the busy, noisy world we know today. It was calm, wide, open. Everything moved at a slower pace, almost like the planet itself was breathing in long, steady waves. As you settle in, picture this ancient world not as a place of danger or chaos, but as a soft, peaceful land where time felt different. The air was warm, the forests were gentle, the lakes were quiet mirrors resting under a soft sky. This was the world the dinosaurs walked, long before the world became loud. Imagine waking up in a forest that stretches farther than the eye can see. The trees are tall but thin, their leaves long and feathery, moving slowly with every warm breeze. Sunlight falls through them in soft stripes, making the ground below glow in patches of gold. The air is thick with moisture. It feels warm on your skin, almost like a blanket. And every sound is low and calm. Nothing rushes. Nothing pushes forward. Even time feels slower, as if the whole world is inviting you to relax into it. In the quiet of this ancient morning, dinosaurs begin to move. They are not running. They are not fighting. They are simply walking through soft ferns, touching the earth with gentle steps. Some stop to eat leaves. Some lift their heads to sense the air. Some move toward the shade, letting the cool shadows settle over their backs. Their world has a softness to it, a quiet rhythm, and when you picture it, your mind begins to move at that same slow pace, following the quiet paths they walked. Nearby, a calm lake stretches out like glass. Nothing breaks the surface except a small ripple when a creature drinks. The water reflects the sky, the trees, even the giant shapes of dinosaurs standing at the edge. You can almost hear the soft splash of a tail brushing the water, or the gentle sound of a foot sinking into wet sand. These sounds don't startle, they soothe. They blend with the warm wind, the buzzing insects, the distant call of some early creature. Everything forms a natural lullaby. The landscapes change as you walk with them in your mind. One moment you're in a shaded forest, full of green light and soft shadows. The next, you're standing in an open field covered with tall ferns that move like waves in the breeze. Far away, huge mountains rise with slow, steady shapes. They do not feel harsh or sharp. They feel old, strong, calm, like they have been resting for millions of years, watching quietly as life grows and changes below them. Dinosaurs move through these places as if they were part of the land itself. Their bodies blended with the colors around them. Soft browns, deep greens, warm grays. When they walked, their movements were steady and smooth. Their legs lifted and lowered in a quiet pattern. Their long tails followed behind them like gentle lines drawn through the air. Even the larger dinosaurs moved with surprising calm. Their size did not make them loud. It made them grounded, steady, slow. If you listen closely to this ancient world, you can hear little details that make everything feel even more peaceful. The leaves falling in soft spirals, the wings of early insects brushing the air, the whisper of small animals moving through the plants. These quiet sounds fill the space without ever breaking it. They create a soothing world where nothing feels rushed or forced. Every moment stretches comfortably into the next. Sometimes a dinosaur would stand still for a long time, not because it was afraid, but because the world around it was gentle enough to pause in. It would look across the land, watching the warm air rise from the ground in soft waves. The sun would warm its back. The wind would touch its neck. Everything felt simple, safe, calm. And when it finally took another step, the world moved with it, soft and easy. Imagine walking behind one of these peaceful creatures. You would hear its slow breathing. You would see the slight sway of its tail. You would feel the soft ground under your feet, warmed by the sun and covered with layers of ancient leaves. Every step would make a quiet sound, almost like a whisper. Everything around you would feel steady and balanced. And as you followed, your own breath would match the calm rhythm of this world. The lakes were some of the quietest places of all. The water barely moved unless a creature touched it. Early birds, small, feathered shapes, might fly across the surface, dipping low with gentle wings. Their shadows would glide over the water like soft shapes floating. Sometimes a dinosaur would wade into the lake, the ripples moving outward in slow circles. Even the smallest movement created long, smooth patterns across the surface, like the lake itself enjoyed staying calm. At night, the ancient world became even softer. The air cooled just enough to feel fresh. The sky darkened into deep shades of blue. Stars appeared slowly, one by one, bright and clear above the quiet land. Dinosaurs rested under trees. Some curled into the grass. Some stood still, breathing slowly, letting the night wrap around them. The gentle sounds of insects continued. The wind moved through the leaves in soft waves. The whole planet rested. There were no engines, no human noise, no sharp horns. Only nature, moving at a speed that felt perfect for sleep. And when you imagine these peaceful landscapes, you can almost feel your own thoughts slowing down. Your mind becomes quiet, just like this ancient world. Your breath becomes steady, matching the calm rhythm of creatures that lived millions of years ago. The Earth during dinosaur times was not wild chaos. It was balance, warmth, softness. It was a world that held giant creatures in gentle hands. A world that invited them to walk slowly, to rest deeply, to live in harmony with every sound and shadow around them. And now, imagining it invites you to rest too, to let your mind walk through soft forests, to stand by calm lakes, to breathe warm air that helps you settle, to let this ancient peace remind you that the world at its heart knows how to be gentle. When we picture giant dinosaurs, we often imagine loud shaking ground and thunderous steps, but the truth is softer than that. The great herbivores of the ancient world were peaceful giants. They moved slowly, they breathed deeply, and their whole life followed a calm, steady rhythm that made the world around them feel safe. As you settle in, imagine standing near one of these giants, watching it move with quiet strength, never rushed, never loud, always gentle. The heavy-footed dinosaurs, the truly large ones, lived simple and peaceful lives. They walked through warm forests with bodies big enough to touch the branches above them. Yet even with their size, their steps were not wild or shaking. Each step was steady. Each step was controlled. Their feet pressed into the soft ground with slow weight, leaving wide footprints that filled with water after rain. If you listened closely, you would hear a deep, soft thump, but nothing sharp, nothing startling, just a slow, natural sound that matched their slow lives. Imagine seeing a diplodocus from a short distance. Its long neck stretches forward like a gentle line. Its tail moves slowly behind it, swaying with each step. Its breaths are deep, steady, calm. You can almost hear the air move through its huge lungs, but even that sound is soft. A low, slow exhale, a quiet inhale. This giant does not hurry. It simply takes its time, letting the world move around it while it stays grounded and peaceful. The diplodocus grazes with quiet focus. It lowers its long neck toward ferns growing low to the ground. It wraps its gentle mouth around soft leaves. It pulls them away with almost no sound. The leaves rustle, but only lightly. It chews slowly. Its jaw moves in a calm rhythm that fits perfectly with the slow beat of the ancient world. There is no rush to finish. There is no urgency, just the simple act of eating, one mouthful at a time. Nearby, another giant stands taller than the trees, a brachiosaurus, a creature so big that its head rises above the leaves like a peaceful tower. Yet its size does not make it frightening. It stands still, resting its long neck in the warm air. It breathes out slowly, a soft wave of warm breath sinking into the forest below. Its eyes are gentle. Its movements are smooth. When it walks, the world adjusts slowly, as if the ground welcomes its steps. The brachiosaurus lifts its head to reach a high branch. It pulls leaves into its mouth with ease. The branch sways gently but does not snap. This giant knows exactly how much weight to use. It knows how to move without disturbing the world around it. Even when it shifts its huge legs, it does so with care. One slow step, then another. Each step followed by a peaceful pause, letting the air settle again. There is something calming about watching giants that live without hurry. Their whole existence is a lesson in slow living. They wake when the sun rises. They walk to the nearest trees. They graze for hours, taking their time with every bite. When they rest fully. They breathe in long, deep breaths that make their sides rise and fall like soft hills. And the world around them moves at their pace, slow, steady, comforting. If you were close enough, you might hear the sound of their breath, a long inhale, a slow exhale, over and over. Their bodies move like they are part of nature itself, following the ancient rhythm of life. Their hearts beat slowly. Their movements are gentle, even when they turn their huge bodies to face a new patch of plants. They do everything with calm intention. Imagine standing beside a massive herbivore as it walks along a quiet lakeside. The sun warms its back. The water reflects its shape in long, calm lines. When it leans down to drink, the ripples move slowly across the surface. Not fast, not broken, just smooth circles spreading outward like soft waves. Even the water reacts in a peaceful way to these giants. Sometimes smaller dinosaurs walk near them for safety. They stay close because the giants are calm and steady, like moving shelters. These little creatures feel safe in the presence of the gentle giants, and the giants don't mind. They continue grazing, breathing, and moving in the same relaxed rhythm. The world feels balanced when they are around. When the day grows warm, these giants find shade under tall trees. They stand still for long stretches of time, letting the shade cool their skin. Their large bodies do not rush to cool down. They trust the wind. They trust the shadows. They trust the soft passing of time. Their tails rest on the ground. Their necks relax. Their eyes close halfway, not fully, but enough to show they feel safe. You might think that such big creatures would be clumsy or noisy, but they weren't. They were careful. They knew how to place their feet. They moved like they were part of the land, not separate from it. Even their herds moved with quiet unity. When one took a step, others followed with the same slow rhythm. When one paused to breathe, the others also paused, filling the warm air with deep, low breaths that blended together like a gentle hum. Their size made them strong, but their nature made them peaceful. They did not chase. They did not rush. They did not shout. Their lives were built around calm moments, eating, walking, resting, breathing, and the world respected their pace. Trees grew tall for them, lakes stretched wide for them. The ground softened under their steps. Everything worked together. Picture a whole valley filled with these slow-moving giants, some standing, some walking, some sitting on the ground with legs folded under them. The sound of the valley is soft, just breathing, rustling leaves, and the quiet brushing of giant tails on the grass. A place where nothing feels rushed. A place where every moment feels long and steady. And imagine being there, standing among peaceful giants, feeling the ground gently move under their slow steps, hearing their calm breaths mix with the warm wind, watching their steady bodies move in a rhythm that makes your own thoughts slow down. These giants lived simple lives, but their presence made the world feel safe. Their size was great, but their hearts were calm, and walking beside them, even in imagination, brings a sense of peace hard to find anywhere else. Some dinosaurs were not covered in tough scales. Some were covered in soft, gentle feathers that moved like light brushstrokes in the warm air. These feathered dinosaurs lived quiet lives, and their world had a softness that feels peaceful just to imagine. When people first discovered that dinosaurs had feathers, it changed everything we thought we knew. But instead of making them seem wild, it made them feel even calmer, almost like birds resting in the early morning light. So settle in, breathe slowly, and picture a world where tiny dinosaurs with soft feathers lived quiet, simple days. Imagine a small dinosaur sitting on a branch, its feathers glowing softly in the sunlight. Not bright colors, nothing loud. Just warm browns, gentle creams, and soft grays. The feathers are light, almost weightless. When the wind touches them, they move like thin grass waving in the breeze. This little creature blinks slowly, looking around with calm eyes. There is no fear, no rush. It sits in the quiet shade, breathing in a steady rhythm that matches the soft world around it. Many feathered dinosaurs were small, about the size of a chicken or a cat. They weren't hunters or fighters. They were quiet creatures that enjoyed warm places, gentle winds, and soft plants that grew near the ground. Their feathers helped keep them warm at night, when the world cooled and the stars spread out across the sky. The feathers also helped them look bigger to other animals, but they didn't use them to scare. They used them to blend in, to stay calm, to live in peace. Picture a small feathered dinosaur walking through the forest floor. Its feet make almost no sound. Its steps are light, careful, gentle. Every movement is soft. When it leans forward to eat a small plant, its feathers shift slightly, brushing against each other with a faint, soothing sound. Like paper sliding, like leaves touching. Everything about it feels calm. Some feathered dinosaurs lived in groups. They stayed close to each other, sharing warmth and safety. When the sun rose, they would walk together toward open spaces where soft ferns grew thick. They would peck or nibble at the plants, eating small bites, each one quiet and calm. If one creature lifted its head to look around, others did the same. Not because they were scared, but because they moved in the same gentle rhythm. The softest part of their world was the early morning. As the sun climbed slowly over the land, the feathered dinosaurs warmed themselves under the soft light. They shook their feathers lightly, letting small bits of dew fall off. These drops sparkled for a moment before disappearing into the warm air. The dinosaurs' stretches were slow, like lazy cats waking up after a long night. They opened their wings, or wing-like arms, and balanced themselves with tiny, careful steps. On branches above them, the forest stayed quiet. Leaves shifted only when the wind touched them. The air held a calm warmth that made everything feel safe. And if you could sit there with these small dinosaurs, you would feel that same peace sink into your mind. Their feathers, their movements, their world, it was all gentle, all soft, all made to calm the senses. Some feathered dinosaurs had long, thin tails covered in delicate feathers that spread lightly when they ran, but they didn't run often. Most of the time, they preferred slow walks, little hops, or quiet sits on fallen logs. Their feathers kept them balanced, warm, and hidden. When they groomed themselves, they used small pecks and light touches, cleaning each feather with calm care. It was like watching a bird settle in for the night, soft, slow, peaceful. There were also dinosaur species that used their feathers to show comfort to each other. They would fluff up gently when resting together, creating warm, feathered blankets around themselves. Even the little movements, shuffling, leaning, breathing, were quiet. The sound of their feathers sliding together was almost like a soft whisper. These feathers were not bright like parrots or peacocks. They were simple and natural, blending with the colors of the earth. Browns like soft soil, grays like cool stones, light oranges like warm sunlight. These colors helped them disappear into the forest, making them part of the world instead of standing out. And in a peaceful world like theirs, blending in was a good thing. It gave them safety and calm. Imagine a group of feathered dinosaurs resting together as the day warms. They sit in a circle, small bodies close, feathers touching lightly. Their eyes half close, their breath slowed down. The world around them becomes quiet. The only sounds are the soft breeze, the quiet rustle of leaves, and the gentle movement of feathers. This is a moment where everything feels still, balanced, comforting. Their evolution was slow and peaceful. Over millions of years, scales began to change into feathers, not suddenly, not sharply, slowly, like the world shaping itself with a careful hand. Feathers began as simple filaments, thin and hair-like. Over time, they became softer, fuller, smoother. They help these small dinosaurs stay warm. They help them glide or balance. They help them feel comfortable in their world. Even larger dinosaurs began to develop feathers, though many kept them small and simple. These feathers added softness to their tough bodies, giving them gentle outlines instead of harsh shapes. Even giants looked kinder with soft feather edges. It showed how nature can shape even the strongest creatures with delicate touches. If you imagine running your fingers across the feathers of one of these gentle creatures, the feeling would be soft and warm, like touching a blanket left in the sun. Their feathers would move under your touch, shifting with tiny sounds, and the dinosaur would breathe calmly, trusting, relaxed. As the sun set, the world became even softer. Feathered dinosaurs curled their bodies under large leaves or in small nests. They tucked their heads under their wings. Their feathers kept them warm and safe. The night was full of tiny glowing insects, and the air felt cooler, quieter. Their slow breathing joined the soft sounds of the night, creating a peaceful rhythm across the ancient land. And as you imagine them resting, you feel your own body start to rest too. Your breath slows, your thoughts soften. Their gentle world becomes your gentle world. A world of feathers, warmth, calm movements, and slow, peaceful lives. A world that holds no chaos, only quiet beauty. There is something calming about imagining a world where the nights were deeper, quieter, and untouched by any human sound. When the sun slowly sank behind the ancient trees and the sky changed into soft shades of blue and silver, the dinosaur world did not fall asleep all at once. Some of its most peaceful moments began only after darkness arrived. The warm daylight faded, but life continued, gentle, careful, and slow. Nighttime brought a different kind of beauty, one that feels almost magical when we picture it now. In those long-ago nights, certain dinosaurs became active, moving softly while the rest of the world rested. It is strange and comforting to think that millions of years ago, creatures walked under the same moon we see today. The moonlight touched their backs, their feathers, and their shapes the same way it touches the earth tonight. As stars shimmered quietly above them, these dinosaurs stepped into the cool air with calm confidence, their bodies built for the peaceful world of the dark. Some dinosaurs had large eyes that glowed faintly in the night, not from light, but from sensitivity. Their eyes were made to catch even the smallest shine of the moon. They could see things that daylight creatures never noticed. A tiny movement in the grass, a shadow slipping between tree roots, the soft flutter of an insect. Everything slowed down at night, and these dinosaurs moved with the same slow, steady rhythm. Imagine a small feathered dinosaur standing at the edge of a quiet clearing. Its body is covered with soft, light feathers that move gently with each breath. These feathers help keep it warm as the night air becomes cooler. It listens carefully but not in fear. The night is its world. This is when it feels safest and most alive. It takes slow steps, each one making almost no sound. Its claws touch the ground lightly. Its breathing is calm, warm, steady. If someone were watching, they might barely hear anything at all. Larger nocturnal dinosaurs also lived in this gentle darkness. They moved slower than the smaller ones, but with the same peaceful energy. Their steps made deeper sounds, but still soft enough to blend with the wind. The leaves above them shifted lightly, and sometimes a quiet insect buzzed nearby. But mostly, the night was still, like a blanket spread across the ancient land. These animals were not racing or rushing. They took their time, following simple paths their bodies knew well. Many dinosaurs had special eyes designed for seeing in low light. Their pupils could widen until they looked almost perfectly round, letting in more of the soft moonlight. Their eyesight did not need bright sunshine. They only needed the gentle glow of the night sky. Some of them had reflective layers inside their eyes, similar to what cats have today. If you could look at one of them in the darkness, you might see a soft, silver shine looking back. Not bright, not scary, just calm, patient, and alive. The nighttime world was full of deep blue shadows and quiet silver lights. Plants opened and closed slowly. The air cooled enough for small clouds of warmth to form around the dinosaurs' breaths. These clouds faded almost instantly, blending back into the dark. Some dinosaurs stayed close to the trees, using them as shelter. Others walked out into the open plains, where the moonlight washed over them like a gentle wave. The ground felt cool under their feet, and the world felt safe in its silence. The sounds of the night were soft, a distant call from another dinosaur, but never loud or harsh. More like a low hum, like a slow reminder that life continued all around. A rustle of leaves when a gentle creature moved. The whisper of the wind gliding between tall ferns. The soft splash of water when a dinosaur stepped close to a pond. Each sound was spaced out, giving your mind room to relax, as if the world itself knew how to slow down. Some species were excellent nighttime hunters, but even they moved with surprising calmness. They used patience instead of speed, taking careful steps, reading the small signals of the night. Their movements were almost silent, perfectly controlled. They did not disturb the world around them. Even when they paused and looked toward the sky, their movements were smooth and peaceful, as if they understood exactly how to exist in stillness. It is easy to imagine them lifting their heads and watching tiny points of light far above. The same stars you see today shone above their world, hundreds of millions of years ago. The night sky must have been clearer, deeper, and softer than anything we see now. Without cities or lights, the Milky Way stretched across the darkness like a calm river of white dust. Maybe some dinosaurs stood quietly, feeling the cool wind, listening to the soft nighttime creatures, and watching those stars just as calmly as we watch them now. Young dinosaurs stayed close to their parents during the night. Their tiny steps were quick but still gentle. They pressed their soft bodies against the warm sides of the adults, feeling safe and protected. The adults watched the shadows with calm eyes, always alert but never stressed. Their large bodies gave the young ones warmth and comfort in the cool air. Sometimes they made quiet sounds, almost like soft hums, to let their young know everything was safe. The night also brought out insects that shined faintly, their tiny lights glowing in soft yellow and white. Some dinosaurs watched them move slowly through the air, drifting like little stars near the ground. The insects' gentle glow added to the peaceful feeling of the world, making everything look like a calm dream. In the quiet moonlight, every movement felt slower, every sound softer. The dinosaurs who lived at night were connected to this peaceful rhythm. They didn't rush. They didn't fight the darkness. They lived with it, breathed with it, understood it. Their quiet steps shaped the ancient nights of Earth for millions of years. Even now, when we imagine them walking under the stars, we can almost feel that calm. The soft rustle of leaves, the cool air, the slow breaths of creatures moving with gentle purpose. Their world was different from ours, but the peace of their nighttime feels strangely familiar. It feels like something inside us recognizes that slow, steady calm. And as you picture these dinosaurs wandering under the silver moon, their footsteps quiet as dreams, your mind begins to slow down too. The shadows become softer. The world feels safer. And those ancient nights begin to wrap around you like a warm, quiet blanket from a time long before humans ever took their first breath. Far away from the forests and open plains where dinosaurs walked, another world existed, wide, deep, and endlessly calm. The ancient oceans were like giant blue blankets covering most of the earth, stretching farther than any eye could see. Their surfaces moved slowly, with gentle waves rising and falling in a quiet rhythm that could almost rock the whole planet to sleep. These oceans were home to creatures that were not dinosaurs, but they lived during the same time. They were ancient marine reptiles, and the way they moved through the water was so smooth and peaceful that imagining them can make anyone feel calm. The seas millions of years ago were warm and soft in color. Sunlight touched the top of the water, turning it into shades of gold and blue. But as you went deeper, everything became cooler, quieter, and more peaceful. The water held sound in a different way. Instead of sharp noises, everything was round and gentle. A slow splash could echo far away, but it always sounded soft, almost like a whisper. The deeper parts of the ocean had their own calm language, small bubbles rising, long waves moving above, and the steady beating of the deep currents. Marine reptiles moved through this world like dancers. They didn't rush or fight the water. Their bodies were shaped to slide through it smoothly, as if the ocean welcomed them with open arms. When a plesiosaur moved its long neck, it did so with slow, graceful motions, like it was reaching for something without wanting to disturb the water around it. Its four flippers pushed through the sea with careful strength. Every movement was even and balanced, almost like the slow beat of a lullaby. Imagine standing on a quiet beach of that ancient time. The sky above is wide and soft, maybe filled with gentle pink or deep blue as the sun lowers behind the horizon. You hear the slow sound of waves touching the shore. Each one lands, rests for a moment, and then slides back into the sea. Out in the water, just far enough to look mysterious, you might see a smooth shape rise and fall. It could be an ichthyosaur coming up for air. It breaks the surface for a second, takes a calm breath, and then sinks back into the silent blue depths. No hurry, no chaos, only calm movements shaped by millions of years. Under the water, the world was even more peaceful. Light from the sun did not reach very far, so everything looked soft and blurred. Marine reptiles swam through this dim world like shadows. Their bodies glided forward, their tails moved in slow waves, and their flippers cut the water gently. Fish scattered around them, not in fear, but in a natural rhythm, as if everyone knew their place. Even when larger creatures passed by, the water kept their motion smooth, slowing everything down like a deep breath. Some reptiles had long, flat bodies that helped them glide with almost no effort. They could travel great distances without feeling tired. Their slow motions allowed them to save energy and stay safe in the open water. Picture a giant mosasaur slowly swimming under a beam of sunlight, its huge tail moving in wide, calm strokes. Its body glides like a cloud floating across the sky, steady and quiet. Even though it was one of the biggest animals in the ocean, it did not always move fast. Most of the time, it simply explored the water in silence, letting the currents guide it like a gentle hand. Sometimes groups of marine reptiles swam together. They moved in loose, peaceful lines, keeping their bodies close enough to see each other but far enough to move freely. Their shapes shifted in the water in a kind of underwater dance. Their flippers moved slowly, their tails followed a soft pattern, and the ocean around them responded by carrying their movements smoothly through its wide blue space. When they passed each other, they did so with calm respect, like old friends who knew they belonged to the same silent world. The ocean floor held its own peaceful beauty. Soft sand covered wide areas, and tall plants waved back and forth with the slow rhythm of the water. Small creatures hid among the rocks, appearing and disappearing without a sound. Sometimes a marine reptile would swim low, close to the bottom, letting its shadow float gently over the sand. The movement of its body created soft patterns on the ocean floor, like shifting lines drawn by the sea itself. Every breath these reptiles took was quiet and careful. They had to rise to the surface to get air, and when they did, the moment was almost magical. They broke the water in a smooth motion, their heads lifting gently above the surface. The cool air touched their skin, and for a moment they rested, floating without effort. Their breaths were slow, deep, and steady. Then they slipped back under the water as easily as a falling leaf lands on the ground. If you listen closely in your imagination, you can almost hear the calming sounds of their world. A soft splash far away, the deep hum of water moving past a large body, the quiet bubbling that forms when a tail sweeps through the ocean floor. Everything was gentle, even when the animals were large. The sea made things slow, smooth, and peaceful. The connection between land and sea was also calm. Sometimes dinosaurs walked near the beaches, and the sounds of their steps mixed with the soft waves. They probably stood still for moments, watching shadows move in the water. At the same time, marine reptiles might have come closer to the shore, curious about the shapes and sounds above the surface. These quiet meetings between sea and land were part of the calm balance of ancient Earth. Imagine a giant turtle-like marine reptile resting near the surface at sunset. The sky reflects on the water like a sheet of glass. The reptile's body rises and falls gently as small waves move beneath it. Its eyes close halfway as if the warm light makes it sleepy. Nothing rushes. Nothing disturbs the peace. The water carries it softly, holding it the same way you might hold something precious in your hands. Thinking about these ancient seas can make your mind slow down. The deep blue colors, the gentle movements, the calm creatures gliding like dancers. It is a world where everything moves in soft patterns, a world that teaches you how to relax without even trying. The oceans of ancient reptiles were not loud or wild. They were peaceful, steady, and filled with smooth rhythms. Even millions of years later, imagining them brings a sense of comfort. The slow beating of deep currents, the quiet shapes moving in the water, the calm breaths taken under a wide, endless sky. When you think about these ancient oceans, it feels like you are watching the earth breathe in a slower, softer way. High above the ancient forests and wide plains, the sky was its own peaceful world. The air was open, soft, and quiet, carrying gentle sounds that faded into the distance. This was the home of the flying reptiles known as pterosaurs. They were not dinosaurs, but they lived beside them, sharing the same sunlight, the same winds, and the same calm rhythms of ancient Earth. If you imagine looking up during those long-ago days, you might see one gliding across the sky with wings so smooth and light that it almost looked like the air was holding them in place. Pterosaurs had a special kind of grace. They did not always flap their wings the way modern birds do. Instead, many of them preferred to glide, letting the warm air below them lift their bodies with almost no effort. Their wings stretched wide like soft blankets, catching the wind and turning it into slow, steady motion. Watching them would feel almost like watching a leaf carried upward, gentle and quiet, with no rush at all. Every moment in the sky seemed peaceful when these ancient flyers were above. The sky itself was calm in those days. There were no loud machines, no sudden noises, nothing sharp cutting through the air, just the soft sound of wind moving across wide spaces. When a pterosaur opened its wings, the wind moved smoothly around them. You could almost imagine the sound, just a quiet push of air, a soft breath, nothing more. Their wings were covered in a thin layer of fuzzy fibers that helped warm their bodies and soften their shape. When the light touched them, Those wings could shine gently, almost glowing against the sky. Some pterosaurs were small, light, and playful. They flew close to the ground, weaving through trees and following streams. Their bodies were quick but calm, moving in smooth lines as if they were drawing shapes in the air. Others were huge, with wings as wide as a small airplane. These giants preferred slow, steady flights high above the land. Imagine a creature as tall as a giraffe lifting itself into the sky with wings that opened wider than a room. And yet when it flew, it did so with the lightest motion, an easy push upward followed by long, peaceful glides that could last for minutes. The rhythm of their flight was always balanced. A slow flap, a long glide, a quiet turn, a gentle rise. Each movement flowed into the next with no hurry at all. If someone could watch them for a long time, they might feel their own breathing become slower, matching the calm pace of those wings above. Even predators moved quietly in the sky. They did not chase or rush unless they had to. Most of their time was spent watching the world below, gliding silently like shadows floating across the ground. Sometimes pterosaurs gathered near the edges of cliffs, where warm air rose upward like an invisible staircase. They spread their wings and let the rising air carry them higher with almost no effort. One by one, they lifted into the sky, floating above the rocks in a slow, peaceful spiral. From a distance, this would look like a group of quiet shapes moving together in a soft pattern, rising higher and higher in silence. They did not need to fight the wind. They simply understood how the air worked and let it help them. Near the coast, the air smelled like salt and warm water. Waves moved in slow motions, touching the shore with soft sounds that mixed with the gentle beating of wings above. Pterosaurs often flew over the ocean, watching for small fish near the surface. When they saw something, they folded their wings halfway, lowered their bodies, and touched the water with the tip of their long beaks. The sound was so light it almost vanished, the softest splash you can imagine. Then, with a careful push of their wings, they rose again, letting the wind lift them back into the peaceful air. Some pterosaurs had long crests on their heads that looked almost like sails. These crests helped them balance in the wind. When they turned their heads, the wind touched the crest first, guiding their bodies smoothly through the sky. This made their gliding even more beautiful to imagine, like a boat being steered gently with a single touch. Everything about them was shaped for calm movement. Even their bones were hollow and light, making it easy for them to float on air currents for long periods without getting tired. On quiet mornings when the sun first rose, the sky filled with soft colors: pink, orange, pale yellow. In this warm light, pterosaurs often began their day by opening their wings wide and warming them. They stood on rocks or tall branches, letting the gentle sun touch their bodies. Their wings stretched out like arms reaching for peace. When they finally lifted into the air, the world below was still waking up. The sound of their wings was so soft that even a sleeping animal would not wake from it. Evenings were even calmer. As the sun lowered and shadows grew long, pterosaurs moved slower. The world cooled, the wind softened, and the sky turned deep blue with a quiet glow along the horizon. Pterosaurs glided low, finding places to rest for the night. Their landings were gentle. They folded their wings with care, lowering their bodies slowly so no part made a sharp sound. They often rested in groups, forming peaceful gatherings on cliffs and tall trees. Their bodies warmed each other. Their eyes blinked slowly. Their breathing matched the cool night air in gentle patterns. If you imagine lying on the ground during those ancient evenings, looking up at the sky, you would see dark shapes gliding across the soft colors. Their wings stretched wide, their bodies steady. their motion calm and smooth, no rush, no fear, just quiet travel through the air. And as they moved farther away, their shapes would fade into the sky like soft shadows returning home. There is something comforting about knowing that even in a world filled with giant creatures, the sky still belonged to quiet flyers who moved with patience and peace. They did not bring chaos to the air. They brought balance. Their flight was like a slow song written by the wind, carried from one horizon to another. Thinking about them can make your mind feel lighter, as if you, too, are held by soft air and gentle motion. Their world reminds us that even in ancient times, peace existed high above the ground. It lived in the wings of creatures who trusted the wind, creatures who knew how to rest in the sky, creatures who showed that even the biggest worlds can be calm when you move with ease, breathe slowly, and let the air carry you. When most people think about dinosaurs, they imagine loud roars and wild chases. But the truth is far more gentle. Many dinosaurs lived quiet, thoughtful lives. They communicated in calm ways, using soft sounds, simple movements, and patient behavior. Their intelligence was not always about problem solving like modern animals. It was often about understanding each other, caring for their young, and keeping peace within their groups. When you imagine them this way, the ancient world begins to feel softer, warmer, and much more peaceful. Picture a group of plant-eating dinosaurs walking slowly across a wide plain. The sunlight is warm and the air is still. They are not rushing anywhere. They move together in a loose line, each one aware of the others. Their tails sway gently behind them. Their steps are steady and calm. Every so often, one dinosaur looks up and gives a soft call, almost like a low hum. It is not loud. It simply lets the others know that everything is safe. This quiet communication helped them stay together and feel secure in the giant world around them. Some dinosaurs used body language instead of sound. A slow turn of the head, a gentle lift of the tail, a calm step in a different direction. These small signals meant a lot. They showed interest, warning, comfort, or curiosity without the need for loud voices. Dinosaurs lived in social groups where these tiny movements helped keep peace. If a younger dinosaur got too close, an older one might gently raise its head to guide it away, not with anger, but with quiet understanding. There was balance in their behavior, a soft rhythm that helped everyone move together without stress. Parents played a special role in many dinosaur species. Some built nests with care, arranging plant material in soft layers to protect their eggs. They stayed close, guarding the nest with steady patience. They used calm sounds to reassure their young even before they hatched. When the babies finally came out of their shells, they were greeted with gentle touches of the snout and warm breaths from their parents. The world was big and strange, but their parents made it feel safe. Imagine a baby dinosaur pressing its tiny body against a parent's leg, listening to the soft heartbeat through the warm skin. That simple comfort helped them grow strong. Many dinosaurs kept their young close as they walked. The babies moved in the center of the group, protected from every side. Older animals walked around them in slow arches, watching for danger but moving with peaceful confidence. Their calls were still soft and low, often just small vibrations that passed through the air like warm waves. These sounds were not meant to scare others. They were meant to guide, to reassure, and to keep everyone connected. Some species had special structures on their heads, crests, horns, or plates, that they used to make gentle sounds. These sounds traveled far across open spaces, but they were not harsh. They could be deep and smooth, like a musical note carried by the wind. These sounds told other members of the group where they were, how they felt, or whether it was time to rest or move. The earth during dinosaur times must have been filled with these calm voices, each one blending into the soft background of nature. Even large dinosaurs known for their size had peaceful sides. A giant sauropod, taller than any living animal today, could lower its long neck and touch noses with another member of its group. This simple contact was a sign of trust. Their tails moved in slow arcs behind them, not to threaten, but to communicate their mood. If a young one wandered too far, the adults formed a gentle wall around it until it returned to the center. Everything about their behavior was measured and steady. Some dinosaurs cleaned each other the same way birds do today. They used their beaks to carefully pick off insects or bits of dirt. This behavior kept them healthy, but it also strengthened their social bonds. It was a quiet, caring act that showed trust. When two dinosaurs stood side by side in a peaceful moment, cleaning each other's feathers or scales, it was a sign of calm companionship. These simple acts held their groups together through the long seasons. Even predators had calm intelligence. They did not roar all day or fight constantly. Many moved quietly through their territories, leaving soft marks on the ground that others could read. These marks told a story: where they had walked, where they had rested, and where they were heading next. Instead of loud battles, many used simple signals to avoid conflict. A small growl, a slow step forward, a turn of the body. These behaviors kept peace and saved energy, helping both animals stay safe without needing to fight. Nighttime brought another layer of gentle behavior. Some dinosaurs lowered their bodies to the ground, folding their legs carefully beneath them. Parents curled around their young to keep them warm. The sounds of the night were soft: small breaths, quiet calls, the rustle of leaves. The group rested together, sharing warmth and safety. The young ones would look up at the stars or the shadows of nearby trees, listening to the steady breathing of the adults. These moments were filled with comfort, teaching the babies that they were not alone. There is something calming about imagining these quiet behaviors. It reminds us that life in the ancient world was not always loud or wild. Many dinosaurs lived thoughtful, gentle lives. They cared for each other. They moved in patient groups. They used calm voices to stay connected. Their world was full of peaceful communication, simple habits, and soft intelligence shaped by millions of years. If you close your eyes and think about them, you might imagine the soft hum of their voices, the slow movements of their bodies, the warmth of their gatherings, and the peaceful way they cared for their young. These images bring a deep sense of comfort. They show that even the largest creatures on Earth understood how to live with calm and balance. Their quiet intelligence continues to amaze us today. It helps us see dinosaurs not as monsters, but as living beings who shared emotional bonds, cared deeply for their groups, and communicated in ways that were soft and beautiful. Understanding this gentle side of their world brings the ancient Earth closer, and it settles the mind in a warm, peaceful way. Imagine walking through a forest millions of years ago, surrounded by dinosaurs of all shapes and sizes. The world is soft and quiet, the air warm and filled with the gentle rustle of leaves. Now, imagine looking closely at the skin and feathers of these ancient creatures. They were not just gray or brown as some pictures show. Scientists believe that many dinosaurs had beautiful colors and patterns, subtle and calming, that blended perfectly with the peaceful world around them. Small dinosaurs that lived in the underbrush might have had warm browns, quiet greens, and soft yellows. These colors helped them hide among plants, moving safely without startling other creatures. Their feathers could shimmer gently in the sunlight, like the soft glow of morning dew on leaves. Imagine a tiny dinosaur walking through ferns, its feathers catching a ray of light, showing soft stripes or dots that added beauty to the calm surroundings. Larger herbivores like sauropods may have had muted earth tones, light tans, soft grays, and subtle patterns that made them seem like part of the forest itself. Their scales would ripple quietly as they walked, reflecting light in slow, gentle ways. Imagine standing nearby as one of these giants lowers its neck to eat leaves. The colors of its skin are calming, blending with the warm sunlight filtering through the trees. Even their huge size did not make them frightening. Instead, they became gentle shapes moving slowly across a soft, colorful landscape. Feathers, which scientists have found evidence of on many dinosaurs, added even more delicate beauty. Some small theropods had feathers that curled slightly at the edges, forming gentle patterns like the rings of a tree or the ripples on a quiet pond. Some may have had soft, warm colors like orange, red, or golden yellow, but in muted tones, never bright or shocking. These colors did not scream for attention. They were peaceful, part of a world that moved slowly and quietly. Imagine a scene at dawn. A small dinosaur, no bigger than a rabbit, steps softly through fallen leaves. Its feathers are tinged with faint green and soft brown, and sunlight touches them, making tiny patterns appear across its back. It pauses for a moment, tilts its head, and takes a slow breath. The forest is calm. Its colors help it vanish into the shadows, and yet, for a few seconds, it is a quiet jewel in the morning light. Some larger predators also had colors and patterns, but even these were often subtle. Stripes, speckles, and gentle shading may have helped them hide while hunting or resting. Imagine a dinosaur with soft gray scales moving silently along a riverbank, blending with the smooth stones and green plants. Its stripes are barely visible, just enough to break up the outline of its body, keeping it hidden. Even the creatures that might seem dangerous were, in their way, part of the soft, quiet rhythm of life. Colors may have also changed with age. Baby dinosaurs could have had brighter markings to help parents find them, while adults wore more muted tones to stay calm and invisible in their surroundings. This slow change in color was a quiet, natural signal of growth and maturity. Imagine watching a small hatchling with tiny golden feathers playing near its nest. The soft sunlight catches its wings, showing small patterns that will fade into gentle browns as it grows. Everything is peaceful, measured, and slow. Feathers did more than protect and hide. They allowed dinosaurs to show subtle emotions or signals to each other without sound. Slight changes in color, tiny flares of pattern, or the gentle raising of a feather crest could communicate curiosity, calm, or a need for space. Picture a group of small dinosaurs resting together. One raises a few feathers, signaling a quiet greeting. Another nudges its companion gently. There is no rush, no noise, just a soft, flowing communication of trust and care. Even the massive dinosaurs had patterns that calmed the eye. Imagine a diplodocus drinking at a quiet lake. Its long neck stretches over the water, and the scales along its back ripple in soft waves. Subtle stripes of tan and brown follow the line of its body. The patterns are slow-moving art, shifting with the light and water, blending the creature into its calm environment. Every detail seems designed for quiet observation, to be part of the world rather than stand out violently. Scientists have also found evidence that some dinosaurs had iridescent feathers, shimmering softly in certain lights. Imagine a tiny theropod perched on a branch, wings folded neatly. As the sun rises, its feathers shine in delicate shades of blue and green, almost like the shimmer of a quiet pond. The colors are not loud or startling. They are subtle, natural, and soothing to watch. Even in movement, these shimmering feathers flow gently, reflecting sunlight in a slow, peaceful dance. Some patterns may have helped dinosaurs recognize each other without speaking. Slightly different shades or marks on the face, tail, or feathers could identify individuals within a group. This quiet system of recognition kept groups moving together in harmony. Imagine a herd of herbivores walking slowly through a sunny plain. Each dinosaur recognizes the other by tiny marks and subtle patterns. No harsh sounds are needed. Everything flows in quiet understanding. Imagine watching a feathered dinosaur slowly preen itself. Each small movement is deliberate. Feathers align, soft patterns become visible, and gentle colors shine in a calm sunbeam. It takes its time, unhurried, peaceful. The world around it moves at the same pace. Leaves rustle slightly in a soft breeze. A nearby river hums gently, and distant mountains catch the first warm light. The dinosaur is part of this calm rhythm, its colors and patterns adding to the beauty of a quiet, ancient Earth. Some dinosaurs may have even changed color slightly with temperature or mood, like modern reptiles. This would have been subtle, soft, never jarring. A cool morning could make their warm tones lighter, while the afternoon sun deepened the browns and reds of their feathers. Imagine the slow shifts in color as a herd grazes through a gentle plain, the sunlight moving across their backs, turning patterns from pale to rich with quiet grace. The soothing colors and patterns remind us that dinosaurs were not just massive, loud, or scary. They were living, breathing creatures in a soft, colorful world. Every stripe, every feather, every subtle shimmer was part of a calm life, part of how they survived, communicated, and grew. These gentle details create a peaceful picture of life long before humans existed. So when you imagine dinosaurs, picture not only their shapes and sizes, but the soft patterns on their skin and feathers. See the muted greens, the warm browns, the subtle stripes and tiny spots. Watch them move through sunlit forests, quiet plains, and gentle rivers, each pattern blending with the calm earth around them. Their colors were a quiet song of nature, helping them survive, grow, and live in a world that moved slowly, softly, and beautifully. Imagine a warm, sunlit plain millions of years ago. The air is still, and the soft hum of insects fills the space between the trees. Here, among the gentle hills and slow rivers, the great herbivores of the past roam. These dinosaurs were enormous, yet their lives were calm and unhurried. They walked slowly across the land, their massive bodies moving with a rhythm that felt steady and soothing. Every step pressed softly into the soil, leaving deep, lasting impressions that tell stories even today. Take the Diplodocus, for example. Its long neck stretched high into the trees, reaching leaves that no other creature could touch. It moved slowly, carefully, taking its time to pull down branches. The sounds of its chewing were not loud or frightening. Instead, they were rhythmic, gentle motions, almost like the soft tapping of rain on a window. Imagine standing nearby and listening to the slow, steady crunch of leaves. Every bite is calm, every movement deliberate. The Diplodocus is not in a hurry. It lives in the present moment, focused only on the leaves it grazes. Brachiosaurus, another peaceful giant, wandered forests where the sunlight filtered softly through the canopy. Its body, vast and slow-moving, created shadows that stretched across the ground like quiet waves. Imagine following this gentle creature as it moves. Its steps are slow and heavy, but not frightening. Instead, they carry a sense of strength and calm. Its long tail swings gently behind, touching the earth softly. With every careful step, the forest seems to breathe with it, responding to the rhythm of a creature that has all the time in the world. These herbivores fed for hours, moving from one patch of greenery to the next, Their lives were filled with simple routines. They did not rush. They did not panic. They spent their days chewing, walking, and resting. Imagine the slow rise and fall of their massive bodies as they breathed. A brachiosaurus inhales deeply, lifting its chest, then exhales in a soft sigh, like the wind moving through tall grasses. Even their hearts beat slowly, pumping steadily as their large bodies supported millions of pounds with grace. As they grazed, these gentle giants shaped the environment around them. Trees bent under the weight of their reach, creating space for smaller plants to grow. The soil, pressed by their enormous feet, became pathways for rivers and streams to follow. Fallen leaves and chewed branches created shelter and food for smaller animals. The impact of their calm movements was peaceful, not destructive. Imagine walking along a riverbank where a herd of sauropods just passed. The footprints are deep and wide, yet the surrounding forest feels untouched. The dinosaurs have moved through gently, leaving the land reshaped but harmonious. Imagine a group of Apatosaurus moving slowly together across a quiet plain. Their steps are synchronized without effort. One steps forward, then another, and soon the herd flows like a gentle river of living giants. They are aware of each other, moving with a quiet understanding. Young ones stay close to their parents, finding comfort in the calm rhythm of the herd. Each movement is slow and deliberate, creating a feeling of safety and peace. There is no rush, no threat, just the steady pace of life. Even the tiniest herbivores contributed to this calm world. Small, plant-eating dinosaurs like Hypsilophodon moved quickly when needed, but most of their day was spent nibbling on ferns and low shrubs. Their soft footsteps and gentle chewing added layers of quiet to the forest. Imagine the blend of large and small herbivores, all moving at their own pace, creating a symphony of calm sounds. A slow rustling of leaves, the soft thud of enormous feet, and the occasional chirp or call of a small companion dinosaur. These gentle giants had habits that matched their size. They rested often, lying down carefully on soft earth to chew cud or digest leaves. Imagine a massive brachiosaurus lowering its knees slowly, folding its enormous legs beneath it, then exhaling as it settles. Around it, the air is calm, almost reverent. Other dinosaurs in the herd continue moving at their own pace, creating a slow rhythm that fills the forest with life without chaos. The way they ate was also peaceful. Some sauropods could feed for hours without stopping. Imagine pulling down a branch, chewing leaves, then moving a few steps to reach the next. There is no rush, no urgency. They consume only what they need, never disturbing the balance of the forest. Even predators of the time respected these calm routines. The slow, predictable movement of herbivores allowed both hunters and grazers to coexist in a quiet world. The heartbeats and breathing of these dinosaurs were slow, like a living meditation. Imagine the gentle rise and fall of a herd's chests, each inhale a soft swell, each exhale a whisper across the grass. Their enormous hearts pumped steadily, keeping life flowing through massive bodies. Every breath, every step, was part of the slow rhythm of life that shaped the world around them. Watching them would feel like witnessing time itself moving gently forward. The environment responded to their calm. Trees and plants bent under their touch, but they were never destroyed recklessly. Streams and rivers shifted slightly as they crossed, leaving smooth channels and small pools. Birds and smaller creatures moved alongside, following the shade or feeding on fallen fruits. Imagine walking through this landscape, hearing the soft murmur of water, the rustle of leaves, and the distant, steady steps of dinosaurs creating a peaceful beat across the plains. Even their interactions were calm and thoughtful. When a herd of herbivores gathered at a watering hole, there was no chaos. Large dinosaurs took turns drinking, each aware of the others. Young ones learned patience from older members, moving slowly and carefully. Imagine seeing a parent dinosaur gently nudging its baby closer to water, teaching it the safe way to drink. Every movement, every gesture, is part of a quiet lesson in living peacefully in a world of giants. These dinosaurs shaped not only the land but also the flow of life. Their slow, careful grazing allowed plants to grow, rivers to carve gentle paths, and smaller animals to thrive. Imagine a plain where Diplodocus and Brachiosaurus walked together, the light from the sun glinting softly off their scales. Around them, plants grow in patterns shaped by their movements. Streams twist gently through their footprints, and small dinosaurs find shade in the calm created by their presence. Even at night, the rhythm continues. As the sun sets, the great herbivores rest, their breathing slow and deep. Imagine lying nearby, hearing the soft sounds of massive chests moving, the gentle creaking of long necks, and the occasional murmur of leaves brushing against scales. There is no fear, no rush, just the comforting presence of creatures living in perfect balance with their world. These peaceful plant eaters teach us something special. Even giants can live slowly and carefully, moving in harmony with their surroundings. Their lives are full of quiet wonder, measured by the slow steps of enormous feet and the gentle rhythm of soft breaths. Imagine watching them move for hours, each moment creating a sense of calm and safety. Their world is not loud or frightening. It is a slow, soothing rhythm that invites relaxation and wonder. So when you picture dinosaurs, do not think only of predators and chaos. Think also of the enormous herbivores, moving slowly and quietly across plains and forests, shaping the world gently with each step. Their breathing, their steps, their calm routines are peaceful lessons from deep time. Imagine being near them, seeing them feed, rest, and walk together. The slow rhythm of these great plant eaters is a reminder that even in a world of giants, life can be gentle, measured, and deeply relaxing. Even the fiercest dinosaurs had moments of quiet. Imagine a forest millions of years ago, where the leaves move softly in the wind and the sun filters gently through the trees. Among the tall ferns and shaded clearings, powerful predators like Tyrannosaurus rex or Allosaurus did not always roar or chase. Often they simply rested, their massive bodies still and calm. Their eyes might watch the world around them, but their movements were slow and thoughtful. The hunt was not constant. These dinosaurs spent hours in quiet waiting. Imagine a Tyrannosaurus lying in a shaded area, its enormous head resting on the soft ground. The muscles in its legs are relaxed, and its tail stretches gently behind. Its eyes watch, but without sudden movements. Every now and then it shifts slightly, but mostly it remains calm, blending into its surroundings. This patience is a surprising, soothing thought. Even the most powerful creatures can experience stillness, a quiet rhythm that fills the forest with calm. Allosaurus, another predator, often waited near streams or forest edges. It did not rush. The air around it was soft and warm, carrying the quiet sounds of water and leaves. Its breathing was steady, slow, like a gentle drum in the forest. Imagine standing nearby, feeling the slow rise and fall of its chest, the quiet swish of its tail on the ground. These moments show that even the strongest beings can embrace stillness, living part of their day in gentle observation. Small predators had their calm moments too. Compsognathus and Velociraptor were quick and alert, but even they rested in the shade, grooming feathers or small scales. They paused to listen to the wind or to watch clouds pass overhead. Their soft movements were part of the quiet rhythm of the forest. Imagine seeing a small velociraptor crouch low, tail resting on the ground, eyes half closed, breathing softly. There is no fear here, only a peaceful pause in the day. Even when hunting, patience was key. Imagine a large predator standing still by a riverbank. It waits quietly for a chance to move, muscles coiled but calm. There is no rushing, no loud noise, no frantic energy. Every movement is measured and slow. Watching this can feel almost hypnotic. The predator is strong and dangerous, yet it teaches a lesson in stillness and careful observation. It shows that power does not always come with chaos, and even the fiercest can move with calm precision. Predators also rested in groups at times. Fossil evidence suggests that some species, like certain types of raptors, spent time together quietly. They would lie near each other, grooming, napping, or simply watching their surroundings. Imagine a small group under the shade of tall trees, feathers or scales catching the soft sunlight. Occasionally one shifts or lets out a soft hiss, but mostly they are still. These peaceful moments contrast with the images of relentless hunting, showing that dinosaurs had private, calm lives. T-Rex, often thought only of as a roaring terror, had daily routines that included rest and observation. Its huge jaws closed gently when not feeding, and its steps could be slow and careful. Imagine a giant T-Rex walking along a quiet plain, nostrils twitching as it senses the air, but feet moving softly. It is aware of its strength, yet it does not need to demonstrate it constantly. The world around it is calm, and its movements match the rhythm of the forest or open plain. Even fierce dinosaurs had moments to care for themselves. They would scratch, groom, or clean their bodies in quiet spaces. Think of a predator lying down by a tree, using its claw slowly to scratch an itch. Or imagine a small raptor licking a claw, preening feathers that catch the light in soft patterns. These ordinary, gentle actions make them feel alive in ways we can relate to. They were not always terrifying. They also experienced simple comforts and quiet daily routines. The way predators moved could also be calming when observed without fear. Their steps, although capable of power and speed, often flowed gently through their environment. Imagine an Allosaurus stepping carefully over roots and fallen branches. Its feet press the earth with care, leaving deep but measured impressions. There is an elegance in the way its long tail balances each step. Observing this slow, mindful movement is relaxing, reminding us that even predators can move gracefully through their world. Predators spent part of their day just observing. They watched the movement of other dinosaurs, the flow of water, and the shadows that stretched across the land. Imagine a young Tyrannosaurus sitting quietly by a pond watching dragonflies skim the surface, listening to the soft rustle of leaves. Even in a creature designed for hunting, there is an appreciation for quiet beauty, a patience that slows the pace of the world around it. Nighttime brought a softer rhythm to these fierce dinosaurs. Under the glow of the moon or stars, predators rested more, moving silently through the cool air. The forest, the plains, and the rivers were quiet, and even those built for speed and strength adjusted to the stillness. Imagine a hunting dinosaur lying down under a tree, eyes half closed, listening to the soft croak of frogs or the gentle splash of fish. Its day may include bursts of energy, but the night is for calm and rest, and it takes that time fully. Even the roar, often imagined as loud and terrifying, was not constant. Some research suggests that communication calls could be low and soft, designed to be felt as vibrations rather than heard from far away. Imagine a distant T-Rex letting out a deep, quiet hum that shakes the ground slightly but does not startle nearby animals. It is a method of talking, not a method of chaos. The predator communicates calmly, letting the forest remain peaceful. The balance between power and peace is part of what makes imagining these moments relaxing. Fierce dinosaurs were not always running, chasing, or roaring. They spent hours in quiet observation, resting, grooming, walking slowly, and watching the world. Even creatures built to be strong and dangerous had private, gentle lives. Imagine standing nearby, feeling the air move softly around them, hearing the slow sound of footsteps or breathing. It is a world of calm giants, of quiet predators, of life lived slowly despite enormous strength. Even in their solitude, predators were part of the rhythm of the forest. They coexisted with plant eaters, small animals, and each other. The soft movement of one dinosaur could signal safety or awareness to another. Imagine the forest filled with silent signals, subtle shifts in leaves or shadows, guiding creatures through their peaceful world. Even the fiercest followed this gentle, natural rhythm. These quiet moments are a reminder that dinosaurs, even the predators, were more than the images of endless action. They had private, gentle times filled with observation, patience, and rest. Their power did not require constant activity. It existed in balance with calmness. Imagine watching a predator lie quietly by a stream, feeling the warm sun, listening to the soft sounds of water and wind. It is a scene of relaxation, even in a world of giants. Thinking about fierce dinosaurs this way is soothing. They were capable of incredible strength, yet they also understood calm. They rested, observed, groomed, and moved slowly when needed. They had quiet moments that tell us about their lives in a comforting, peaceful way. Imagine walking alongside them, without fear, seeing their soft movements, their gentle observation, and the slow rhythm of their daily life. Even when they hunted, they did so with patience and control. Their quiet waiting, their slow, deliberate steps, and their careful observation are images that calm the mind. We often imagine chaos when we think of predators, but the truth is also filled with quiet moments, gentle routines, and peaceful interactions. The forest was alive yet serene. The predators were powerful yet patient. And this balance is a reminder that even in strength there is peace. So when you imagine the fiercest dinosaurs, picture their quiet moments too. Picture the slow steps, the calm breaths, the patient observation, and the soft movements that make even these giants seem gentle. In a world of enormous creatures, there is still calm. There is still rhythm. There is still a soft, relaxing heartbeat to life, even among the most powerful. Fossils are like soft whispers from the past, messages left behind by creatures that walked the earth millions of years ago. Imagine a quiet, sunlit plain where a dinosaur once stepped. The mud pressed beneath its feet slowly hardened over time, capturing the shape of its toes, the weight of its body, and the gentle rhythm of its steps. These impressions became fossils, tiny windows into a world long gone. Each one carries a story, not shouted in words but written quietly in stone. The process of fossilization is slow and peaceful. It takes patience, time, and gentle conditions. When a dinosaur died, its body often fell in a calm place, like a riverbank, a shallow pond, or a soft forest floor. The earth covered it slowly with mud and sand. Over thousands or even millions of years, minerals seeped into the bones, replacing the soft tissues and turning them into stone. What was once flesh and blood became a quiet reminder of life long past. There is something soothing about knowing that time itself preserves memory so carefully, layer by layer. Fossils are not only bones. Sometimes plants, footprints, and even feathers become preserved in stone. Imagine tiny ferns pressed flat in sediment, or the mark of a dinosaur tail dragged softly along a muddy riverbank. Each mark is a gentle signature, left by creatures moving through their world. Paleontologists call these trace fossils, and they show not just what dinosaurs looked like, but how they lived, walked, rested, and even played. Looking at these details is like listening to a story told in silence, with patience and care. Scientists uncover fossils slowly, treating every fragment as precious. Imagine standing in a calm excavation site, sunlight falling on dusty rock. Paleontologists use small brushes, soft picks, and gentle hands to remove layers of earth. They do not rush. Every touch is careful, every movement measured. The sound of dust brushing away is soft, almost like a quiet wind through leaves. It is a peaceful kind of work, connecting us to the past one small piece at a time. Even the preparation of fossils in labs is filled with quiet patience. Large bones are carefully cleaned, stabilized, and studied under soft lights. Small fragments like teeth or claws are examined with magnifying lenses. Researchers trace every curve, noting each mark left by time, water, or soil. There is a rhythm to this work, a slow unfolding of history that is almost meditative. It reminds us that understanding the past does not come from rushing, but from gentle attention and care. Fossils also show us how enormous creatures moved through their environment. Imagine a massive sauropod stepping on soft mud. Its footprint sinks deep, spreading weight across a wide area. Millions of years later, that print is still visible, waiting quietly in stone. Standing in such a footprint today can feel like touching the shadow of a giant. There is calm in knowing that something so massive can leave a trace that endures softly, without sound, across the ages. Sometimes fossils tell us about families and relationships. A set of small tracks beside a larger set can show a mother walking with her young, tiny claws pressed alongside massive feet. Imagine the quiet care of a parent guiding its baby, each step measured, each moment filled with gentle connection. These fossilized footprints are more than just evidence. They are tender messages, reminders that life, even millions of years ago, included patience, protection, and care. The earth itself keeps these stories safe. Layers of sediment build up slowly, covering and preserving remains. Imagine the soft silt of a river settling over bones, quiet and still. Over time, pressure and minerals transform the layers into stone, locking the past in place. Every fossil is a gift of time, a calm preservation of life that once existed. Holding a fossil is like holding a small piece of eternity, a quiet conversation between the past and the present. Some fossils are hidden for centuries, waiting for someone to notice them. Farmers turning the soil, hikers exploring hills, or construction workers uncovering a rock layer can stumble upon ancient bones. Imagine the quiet surprise of brushing off dirt to find a perfectly preserved tooth or claw. The moment is gentle yet thrilling, a soft reminder that the past is still present beneath our feet, waiting to be seen. Fossils also help scientists understand the soft parts of dinosaurs. Impressions of skin, feathers, or even possible blood vessel shapes have been discovered. These delicate traces are preserved in calm layers of stone, revealing details of life that once seemed impossible to know. Imagine looking at a fossilized feather trapped in rock, its tiny filaments still visible after millions of years. There is something mesmerizing in seeing such intricate patterns preserved so quietly and carefully. Even when a fossil is incomplete, it still speaks softly to us. A broken bone, A missing tail or a fragment of a skull can tell a story. By piecing together these quiet messages, scientists reconstruct the life of dinosaurs. Every fossil has a rhythm, a pattern, a story to share. Listening to them requires patience, gentle observation, and respect for the slow passage of time. The study of fossils also teaches us about balance. Life is fragile and time is steady. Fossils remind us that even mighty creatures eventually rest, and that the earth slowly records every step, every mark, every moment. Imagine running your hand over a fossil trackway. You can feel the curve of toes, the spread of weight, the rhythm of movement. It is calming to think that nature keeps careful records, quietly preserving these moments for anyone patient enough to look. Sometimes fossils appear in unexpected places. Desert rocks, cliffs, riverbeds, and even quarries hold secrets waiting to be discovered. Each location has its own calm story to tell. Imagine brushing away sand on a remote hillside to reveal a long-neck bone, or lifting a layer of stone to uncover a fossilized leaf. The work is slow, almost ritualistic, and the results are peaceful rewards, glimpses into a quiet past. Fossils also connect us to millions of years of change. By studying them, scientists understand how life evolved, how species adapted, and how the environment shifted over time. Each layer of rock, each preserved bone, shows slow, patient transformations. It is a lesson in patience, resilience, and the quiet beauty of nature unfolding steadily. There is comfort in knowing that the earth keeps a careful record of life, layer by layer, patiently waiting for us to notice. In museums, fossils are displayed with quiet dignity. Giant skeletons of T-Rex, delicate raptor bones, and tiny feathered dinosaurs all tell stories without words. Standing before them, one can feel the calm pulse of history. It is a reminder that life, even the largest and most powerful, can leave gentle marks that last forever. The fossils speak softly, asking us to listen, to respect, and to appreciate the slow, steady passage of time. Every fossil is a message from the past, a soft echo of life that once existed. They remind us of patience, care, and observation. They teach us that quiet work, attention, and respect for the natural world can reveal wonders hidden for millions of years. Fossils show us life's calm beauty, the slow rhythms of existence, and the gentle, unbroken story of Earth and its creatures. As you imagine these quiet moments of discovery, think of paleontologists brushing dust away, uncovering each layer gently, listening to the soft messages left by dinosaurs. Each fossil is a connection, a whisper across time, reminding us that life is vast, slow, and beautiful. They are the calm words of a world long gone, waiting for patient eyes to notice, soft reminders of the steady, gentle story written in stone. Imagine a world long ago, where dinosaurs had walked and roamed for millions of years. Forests stretched endlessly, rivers curved gently through valleys, and the air was warm and still. These creatures, from the smallest feathered raptors to the tallest sauropods, had lived in balance with their surroundings. Then, slowly, the earth began to change in ways that even the largest dinosaurs could not stop. It was not a sudden terror, but a quiet, unstoppable shift in the rhythm of the planet. The end of the dinosaurs was not just a single moment. It was a series of gentle but firm changes in the world around them. Imagine the skies turning muted, sunlight filtered through clouds of ash and dust. This change was gradual, but it touched every forest, river, and plain. Plants, which had been lush and plentiful, began to shrink under the dimmed light. Their leaves no longer reached for the sun with the same strength. The dinosaurs, who had grazed and roamed freely for centuries, felt the subtle shifts in their world. Even the largest herbivores, who moved with quiet strength, found food becoming harder to find. Forests thinned, and soft green leaves were not as common. The rhythm of eating, chewing, and resting stretched into long hours of searching. Imagine a brachiosaurus reaching its long neck toward a bare tree, the calm sway of its massive body moving slowly as it tried to find sustenance. There is no panic here, only patience and endurance as creatures adjusted to the changing rhythm of the planet. Predators, too, felt the gentle pull of change. Dinosaurs like Allosaurus and smaller raptors needed the balance of life around them. When the herbivores became less abundant, the hunters had to move more, wait longer, and conserve energy. Their sharp senses, their careful steps, and their silent patience were more important than ever. Imagine a quiet hunt, where a predator watches from a shadowed forest edge, waiting with soft, careful patience, understanding that the world itself had slowed its pace. Even the oceans reflected these gentle transformations. Marine reptiles, who once glided effortlessly through calm waters, found currents changing and temperatures shifting. Fish and smaller creatures that were once plentiful became rare in places. Yet, the seas were not violent. They were soft and measured, adjusting slowly to new patterns. Imagine a plesiosaur gliding silently beneath the surface, moving with smooth grace while noticing subtle changes in the rhythm of life around it. The world was quiet, yet full of soft, invisible change. Meteorites and asteroids added to the calm reshaping of life. One massive asteroid struck what we now call the Yucatan Peninsula. Its impact was vast, but the story we tell here is gentle. The asteroid reshaped the environment over time. Dust and ash filled the sky, sunlight dimmed, and plants slowly withered. The Earth became a quieter place, not in chaos, but in steady transformation. Dinosaurs experienced a shift, a soft reminder that life is always part of a larger cycle. It is important to imagine this time without fear or terror. The end of the dinosaurs was a natural event, part of the ongoing story of the planet. Life does not stop suddenly. It changes, adjusts, and continues in different forms. While some creatures no longer walked the earth, others adapted, shrank, or found ways to survive. The quiet persistence of life is comforting when we remember that extinction is not the end of nature, but a transition into new possibilities. One of the most peaceful aspects of this change is that it allowed space for new life to flourish. Mammals, which had lived quietly in the shadows of giants, slowly began to grow and explore. Forests that had been ruled by sauropods and theropods now offered niches for smaller animals. Birds, the gentle descendants of certain feathered dinosaurs, survived and adapted. Imagine tiny feathered creatures hopping along forest floors, chirping softly as the sunlight filtered through leaves, carrying the quiet legacy of the age of dinosaurs. Even the fossils left behind show calmness in endings. Dinosaur skeletons preserved in stone tell stories of long lives and slow endings. Footprints frozen in mud reveal the last steps of creatures that walked across plains millions of years ago. A fossilized nest shows a parent dinosaur tending its eggs, a quiet reminder that life continued its cycles until the very last moments. There is beauty in these still, preserved records, showing endings that are gentle and meaningful. The extinction of dinosaurs also reminds us of the quiet patience of nature. Life adapts and flows according to rhythms far larger than any single creature. Forests regrow, rivers carve new paths, and small animals explore spaces left by giants. The gentle reshaping of the earth after the dinosaurs' time is a calming thought. Even after loss, life finds new ways to exist. It is a lesson in resilience, showing that endings are not empty, but filled with potential for new beginnings. Imagine standing in a soft forest millions of years after the last dinosaur walked. The wind hums quietly through the trees, and the sunlight glows gently on the leaves. Birds, descendants of dinosaurs, hop along the ground, call softly to each other, and take flight into the calm sky. Everything around you moves at a slow, peaceful pace, a gentle reminder of the continuity of life. The dinosaurs are gone, but their presence lingers in the quiet shapes of nature, in the rhythm of survival, and in the soft patterns of life continuing. The end of the dinosaurs was not abrupt in spirit. It was a time when the world shifted from one steady pattern to another. Nature has always had cycles: rise, growth, change, and transformation. Dinosaurs were part of these cycles, living fully for over 160 million years and then slowly giving way to new forms. There is peace in understanding this. Life is not a single moment, but a continuous unfolding where each ending prepares the ground for what comes next. Even small fossils found today carry this peaceful message. A fragment of bone, a preserved tooth, or a feather in amber tells us about creatures that lived, ate, slept, and cared for their young. They remind us that every life, no matter how big or small, leaves a trace. We can imagine the slow steps of a dinosaur through a riverbed, the soft sound of its breath in a warm forest, and the quiet gaze of a parent watching over its babies. Each detail is part of the calm story of change. In the end, the extinction of dinosaurs is a gentle tale, not of fear, but of transformation. It teaches us that life adapts, that change is natural, and that endings are only the beginning of something new. While the giants no longer roam, their legacy continues softly in birds, in fossils, and in the quiet imagination of anyone who studies them. Every sparrow, every eagle, every penguin carries a soft echo of the age of dinosaurs, a gentle reminder that life moves forward in calm, steady ways. So, as you imagine the end of the dinosaurs, picture it as a slow, peaceful turning of the world. The forests, rivers, and plains adjusted. Some creatures disappeared and others survived. Life continued quietly, softly, and beautifully. Dinosaurs, in their calm and patient way, left the stage not in a storm of chaos, but in a gentle, natural transformation that allowed the next chapter of Earth to unfold. There is comfort in this thought, a soft reminder that all cycles of life, no matter how vast, are part of a peaceful, enduring story. Imagine a world where the dinosaurs once walked, their massive feet pressing into soft earth, their long necks reaching high into the trees, and their quiet breaths moving with the rhythm of a calm, ancient planet. Today, those creatures no longer roam the forests, plains, and rivers, but their presence is not gone. It lingers in the quiet ways we remember them, in the fossils left behind, in the birds that soar above us, and in the soft fascination they inspire in anyone who thinks about them. The memory of dinosaurs carries a gentle peace, a quiet wonder that invites calm and reflection. Walking through a museum filled with dinosaur bones, one can feel the slow heartbeat of the past. Each skeleton, carefully arranged and preserved, tells a story not of fear or chaos, but of life that thrived for millions of years. Imagine standing beside the long spine of a brachiosaurus, its vertebrae stacked like stones reaching for the sky. The sheer size of it is humbling but also calming, because it reminds us of patience and steady growth. The dinosaurs lived slowly in many ways, growing at their own pace, moving across the land in quiet, measured steps. Observing their bones today, we are invited into that stillness, feeling the pulse of life long gone. Fossils themselves are gentle messengers of the past. They are time captured in stone, a quiet record of life that existed long before humans walked the earth. Each footprint, each bone, each fragment preserved in rock, speaks softly of the days when the world was warmer, wilder, and yet, in its own way, serene. Imagine tracing the outline of a fossilized footprint with your eyes, noticing how the toes pressed into the soft mud, the curve of a claw, the subtle weight left behind. In those marks, we see the careful passage of life, the slow movement of giants, and the calm rhythm of an ancient world. Dinosaurs also leave their memory in the birds that sing in the morning, glide in the sky, or hop across forest floors. Every sparrow, every pigeon, every eagle is a living reminder of creatures that once ruled the earth. Their feathers, delicate and colorful, echo the soft textures of their ancestors. Watching a bird take flight, we can imagine the feathered dinosaurs gliding above ancient landscapes, moving effortlessly through the warm air. There is comfort in this connection. It tells us that life, even after great change, continues in quiet, resilient ways. Even the tiny details of fossilized feathers, skin, and bones offer a soothing kind of wonder. Amber preserves the delicate shapes of feathers and leaves, sometimes even tiny insects, capturing a small piece of the past in stunning detail. Holding or imagining such a piece, one can feel the care of nature, the patience of time, and the gentle passage of life. These treasures allow us to picture the soft world of dinosaurs, the way a small raptor might have paused in the forest, feathers catching the light, or how a parent dinosaur might have nudged a baby close in the quiet morning. Each preserved fragment invites calm reflection, a slow and mindful connection with life millions of years ago. The peaceful legacy of dinosaurs is also felt in the stories they inspire. Every discovery sparks imagination, curiosity, and awe. Thinking about the enormous long-necked sauropods grazing by rivers, the tiny feathered predators running through forests, or the graceful glide of pterosaurs above lakes, we enter a world that is vast yet calm, wild yet soothing. These stories are not rushed or chaotic. They unfold slowly in our minds, encouraging gentle exploration, soft wonder, and mindful attention to detail. It is a quiet kind of magic, the calm fascination of a life that existed so long ago and left traces for us to find today. Even the study of dinosaurs today is often a gentle pursuit. Paleontologists carefully brush away dust from fossils, layer by layer, revealing the shapes hidden for millions of years. Each small movement, each delicate touch, is a soft conversation with the past. There is patience in this work, a steady rhythm of uncovering stories that time has preserved. The process itself is calming, a reminder that learning, discovering, and observing can be quiet, thoughtful, and deeply satisfying. Fossils are teachers of patience, inviting us to slow down and notice the subtle details that tell us about life long ago. When we imagine dinosaurs in their natural habitats, we can also feel the peacefulness of their worlds. Forests stretched across continents, lakes mirrored the sky, and gentle rivers flowed through soft valleys. Herbivores grazed slowly, moving in steady patterns. Birds and small feathered dinosaurs flitted among the trees. Even predators, like large theropods, had calm moments of rest and observation. There is beauty in this slow, natural rhythm, and it is easy to feel serenity when we picture it. Life was alive, vibrant, and steady, moving with purpose but without hurry. Dinosaurs also leave their calm influence in how they shape the environment. The slow grazing of giant herbivores moved forests, helped rivers shift, and created spaces for other creatures to live. They were part of a larger system that balanced itself over time. Imagining this balance, the The gentle interaction of creatures with their surroundings can be comforting. It reminds us that life has always found ways to coexist, to grow, and to create a steady, peaceful rhythm. The world of dinosaurs was not only vast and magnificent, but also quietly ordered, full of subtle connections that lasted for millions of years. Even the end of the dinosaurs leaves a soft message. Though their reign ended millions of years ago, the planet continued, adapting and growing in new ways. Birds, mammals, plants, and even humans would eventually follow, but the memory of dinosaurs remained in fossils, feathers, and the imagination. Their legacy teaches calm acceptance of change. Life moves forward gently, reshaping itself, and leaving traces for those who come later to observe and wonder. There is beauty in this continuity, a quiet comfort that life always finds a way to continue, transform, and inspire. As you picture the memory of dinosaurs, imagine breathing slowly, matching the rhythm of ancient creatures. Think of the soft rustle of leaves in a long-extinct forest, the gentle sway of a brachiosaurus neck as it grazed, the soft flapping of wings as pterosaurs glided across calm skies. Picture the careful attention of small feathered dinosaurs tending to their young, and the quiet patience of giant predators resting in shadows. All of it moves at a calm, steady pace, inviting a sense of peace that can carry you into rest. The fossils, the birds, the imagination, and the stories all work together to leave a serene impression. They remind us that life is vast, strange, and endlessly fascinating, but it can also be quiet, gentle, and soothing. Dinosaurs inspire curiosity and wonder, but they also inspire calm. Their memory encourages soft reflection, mindful breathing, and a gentle connection with the past. Even as we lie quietly, thinking of worlds that existed millions of years ago, there is comfort in knowing that their story continues in subtle, peaceful ways. So, as you close your eyes and imagine the soft world of dinosaurs, let their memory fill you with calm. Picture forests, rivers, and plains alive with gentle giants, delicate feathered creatures, and soaring pterosaurs. Think of the quiet rhythm of life, the patience of nature, and the peaceful traces that remain. Fossils, birds, and imagination all carry the legacy of dinosaurs in soft, enduring ways. Their memory is not loud or frightening. It is gentle, steady, and full of quiet wonder. And now, with each slow breath you take, let the stories of dinosaurs settle softly in your mind. Feel the calmness of ancient forests, the smooth sway of long necks, the delicate flutter of feathers, and the quiet strength of creatures that once ruled the earth. Let the memory of their peaceful lives guide you toward rest. Imagine their world as it once was, and feel the gentle rhythm of life that continues today, in birds, in fossils, and in your own imagination. The age of dinosaurs may have passed, but the peace they leave behind is endless, soft, and calming, carrying you gently into a quiet, restful sleep.